photographer and the trans-serving curious. My name is Renée Garcia, aka the Real Tufty, and I am here to give you all today my breakdown on the plate as I experience it, as I use it, my perception of it, how this whole magical tool has developed for me, and it has been extremely powerful. I have done some plate work that is really life-altering, and I know that it's a part of the tufty sort of modality that people either totally get or they totally don't get. There's a lot of transservers in the group that are like, I still don't get it. I still don't know what it is. I still don't know how to use it. And it's a lot like outer intention. It's not something that can necessarily be taught. I mean, the plate definitely has a lot to do with outer intention, and I'll get to that in a moment. But it's not really something that you could just like teach somebody else. It's about trying to gain that sensation first, and then understanding like, oh, okay, there it is, and then using the knowledge to really explore and develop the ability to use the plate to create your own reality. It's super powerful. Before I get started, remember to like this video, subscribe, and comment. Join us on the Facebook group, International Trans-Serving Institute Facebook group, and follow me on Instagram, reality_transserving. And I have an amazing course. Well, it's more like a seminar that is part of Reality 2.0, but it's a good one. It's a center screen seminar, and it's very, very powerful, and I attribute a lot of my success over the last couple of years to using this specific concept in the tufty modality, the center screen. And I'm going to tell you how the plate and the center screen are so like, hand in hand. If you can gain sense of both and use both the center screen and your plate to bring you back to the center screen and maximize your power, your effectiveness, all that stuff in the center screen, this is really where success just flourishes beyond measure. It's been pretty amazing. So before I get started, I would like to say that everybody, and Vadim Zeland told me this, everybody experiences the plate differently, right? This is a very sensual practice. It's purely sensual. So it's really just about you feeling what this energetic extension is all about and what you can do with it. Now, there's lots of questions of like, how long should I activate my plate, and when, and how many times a day, and all this stuff. And these are all questions that you have internally. These are insights that you definitely need to, connect with internally, because it's everyone's individual process. First experiencing the plate, and then maximizing the benefit of using it. So my process, my experience, my understanding of the plate is developed, right? I read Tufty right when it came out, and I really got into doing this thing, and I really started to move into the space of using the plate. So my experience and what I'm about to relay to you is very developed. It's advanced. Now, if you don't get what I'm saying, or you're like, well, that's totally not my experience, maybe it will be later, right? And don't try to like, if you're not feeling it, don't feel bad. Don't feel like it's never going to come. Don't feel like you have to force anything. One day, and this is exactly what happened for me, I didn't know what the hell Vadim Zeland was talking about when he was talking about the plate at first. I was like, what in the hell is he talking about? And for the first few weeks, I totally didn't get it. And then one day when I was out on my walk, I was just like, and I was like, okay, oh my God, there it is. I can feel it. So it's a natural evolution. Don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself ease into it if you haven't experienced it yet already. and let your development of it come naturally. I never tried to do anything. I just maintain my awareness of the plate, and all the evolution with the practice happen naturally, right? So first thing, and I'm just going to run through this list, and then I'm going to break it down for you specifically of what the plate is for me, what it means for me exactly, and how it helps me in creating my own reality. So the first step, and these first three are in the Tufte book. This is exactly Vadim Zeland's instructions. First step is to wake up. I see myself. I see my reality. When you are lost in the inner screen or the outer screen, you are not awake, right? You are asleep. You're either asleep to yourself or you're asleep in your external environment. So the first step is to wake up. I see myself. I see my reality. And in this space, the center screen is where you can activate your plate. Again, if you're lost in thought, if you're worrying, if you're overthinking, if you're daydreaming, if you're getting sucked into the media, social media, politics, family stuff going on, professional stuff going on, and you're immersed in the outer screen, you're not going to even think to activate your plate, right? So it's in your practice of bringing yourself back to your center place of awareness, that center screen. I see myself, I see my reality. The more you're able then to realize like that this is available to you. So waking up is the first step. So second, activate the plate. I see myself, I see my reality, and then gain the sensation of the plate. And I know a lot of people are like, okay, I don't feel anything. What is it exactly? And again, this is a very personalized experience. Lots of people, and I'll start a thread on the Facebook group after this video airs, asking people to relay their experience or their sensations of the plate, and you'll be able to see that it's like really quite colorful. There's lots and lots and lots of different perceptions and feelings and sensations and all kinds of stuff. So for me, what the plate feels like for me, mine's a pretty classical feeling. I feel like my shoulder blades in the back kind of like come together a little bit, like they feel energetic, or they feel kind of like a tingly or numb feeling, or something is happening back there right between my shoulder blades. And then the same with the back of my head. And I feel almost like a sense that, and I know this is going to sound weird, but I almost get a sense like I'm being pulled back, but then I'm being pushed forward at the same time. It's a very peculiar state. And I know that when I feel this kind of like weird, this weird gravitational thing, that my plate is in fact activated. Okay, so, and I'm gonna get more into that in a moment when I go into what I do specifically with my plate to create my own reality. So activate the plate, whatever that means for you. And this for me, also as a side note, has changed. Again, the plate sensation, there's like a process, there's like, it develops, right? It becomes more intense. And it's not always been the same. So if you just feel a slight sensation now, maybe 6 months from now, it's going to be full on, right? So allow it to naturally just sort of evolve. Then 3, focus on the plate and focus on the future. Okay, so this is where the film roll concept comes into play. So remember that reality can't be created in the moment, and that's why a lot of people aren't getting what they want, and that's why a lot of people, come to things like transurfing or Tufte or law of attraction or Neville Goddard or whatever, and then they're like, oh, this shit doesn't work. It's because they're trying to create reality in the moment. And reality is simply a compilation. The reality that you're experiencing in this exact moment is a compilation of your past actions, thoughts, and frequency. So those actions, thoughts, and frequency in those previous frames are what is making your current frame. So if you want to experience reality in a different way, or if you want something better or bigger for yourself, or some new intention, then you shift those actions, thoughts, and frequency now, so those later frames they appear differently, right? Reality appears differently. So when Vadim says focus on the plate and focus on the future, in the film roll, what we do is we make that end frame of the film roll our goal, our intention, right? This is our, if you're looking at it from a transurfing perspective, this is our slide, this is what we want. So for me, what do I want? Well, I want to get transurfing out into the world in a big way, right? And I have other financial goals for myself and goals with my lifestyle. So when I activate my plate, I focus on the sensation of my plate, and I focus on that version of reality that I want to experience, and embellish it with as much detail as I can. Essentially, run the slide, right? So I imagine what that feeling is, that state of being, what those achievement of those goals look like, what they sound like, what they smell like, what they taste like, right? Where I am, what's going on, the experience. I try to immerse myself in the experience. And again, this could be just a couple seconds long. It doesn't need to be a very long time at all, but really immerse myself in that experience, in that moment. And in me doing this, what happens is I start to become that version of me, that evolved version of me, that version of me that has higher wealth, that version of me that has higher success. So I am feeling that state of being in that moment because I'm living in that version of reality. Therefore, I sort of open the doors to reality and exactly what I need to have transpire to get me to that end frame comes through those doors, right? It's really quite amazing. So I focus on the plate, I focus on my future, I focus on that end frame, that slide, and again, it only needs to be for a few moments. I mean, you could do a meditation, and I've got a great meditation activating the plate and water, and this I do for, probably the whole process is about half an hour. But again, you could just do this few moments whenever you think about it. Some of the times that I like to activate my plate and focus on my future is like when I'm driving. I'll just be driving and I'll think about it, and then I'll do it. I'll run that slide, activate the plate. If I'm waiting in a doctor's office, if I'm, having a few moments break, sipping on some tea at my desk, I'll do it then, right? It doesn't need to be systematic. Like, it doesn't need to be, you don't need to be looking at a watch. It's about doing it when you feel it. And this is really where the people that gain success using this and the people that don't get divided. It's about feeling it, really, really, really feeling it in that moment. Okay, so now for the more advanced plate users, I'm going to tell you exactly how it works for me, and it actually is quite magical because it ties in Tufty and reality transurfing like seamlessly, and I've come up with a formula that's just it's amazing. I mean, it's like the key to reality. Okay, so the plate activates outer intention. So here's the thing. So we have an infinite amount of material and information and events and evidence and opportunities and all sorts of stuff in our external environment that's ready for us to tap it. The issue is when you're sucked into your inner screen and when you're sucked into your outer screen, you can't see that stuff as well because you're either immersed in something external or you're blinded by your own mental processes and you don't actually see what's available to you externally. So when I activate my plate, I pull myself away from my outer screen, out of my inner screen, and I'm in my center screen running that slide, and I can then access exactly what I need to facilitate me moving down those frames towards my goal. Ideas, opportunities, who I need to network with, anything that's going to help me on my path to that goal. This is when the ideas and everything starts generating of what I need exactly to help me facilitate movement towards that end frame, right? So it's kind of like again, a door opens and then I'm able to see outer intention, right? So, and I say it here, the plate brings you back to the center screen, but really how I envision my use of the plate and how it plugs in to my reality, aiding me in getting going exactly what I need to get going to facilitate the creation of this reality is exactly that. I envision that when I activate my plate, I actually plug in to reality. I plug into reality in a very pure and lucid kind of way where I can see a lot of information at once. Then what happens is, and I just explained this, but this is how it works in regards to the film role, is then I can see exactly what it is that I need to do, or what is going to, and as Vadim Zeland says in the book, you know, then when you set the goal and then you see the current frame, which is your present moment, you fill that frame with as much stuff as you can, actions, thoughts, and frequency, right? Transerving stuff in that frame to then activate that movement towards that version of reality. And it's like a train passing, right? And all the cars contain everything that you need. So when I activate my plate, I'm able to pull out of the alternative space exactly what I need to project up onto that current frame. And then I can do that multiple times a day, every day, whenever I want to do my meditation, whenever I want to, again, pull myself out of my outer screen, pull myself away from my inner screen when I'm driving. And again, it's all very, very natural. I'm not having to think about when to do it. I'm not saying, oh, you got to do it 6 times a day. You got to do it 10 times a day, right? It's just whenever I think about it. Now, the longer that I can hold it and the more that I really enjoy that feeling, and this is a really valuable point, it should never feel like a chore. If it feels like a chore, then that goal isn't for you, because just living in that goal, in that moment when you're driving or waiting or whatever, should feel so amazing that you'll want to do it whenever you have a moment to do it, right? So it should feel really, really good. It should never, ever, ever feel like a chore. And if it feels like a chore, then it's probably a false goal. All of this should come very naturally. So again, I activate my plate, I wake up, I see myself, I see my reality, I activate my plate, I focus on the plate, focus on the future. This pulls me back to my center screen, and I'm able to access information, material, opportunities, anything that's going to help me towards this end goal. I can see what exactly I need to do, what actions I need to take, all that stuff, and then I just work on projecting this up to the frames as they're rolling through, and sure enough, frame by frame, I'm getting to my goal. And it's amazing, right? Now again, I'll stress it one more time before I wrap up the video. This may not be your experience. This is my experience, and this is how it works for me. Your experience may be something else, but it's about finding what works for you, finding what feels good, finding what doesn't feel like a chore, finding what gets you results. This is the main thing. Results, results, results. So let me know your thoughts on this video, everybody. Plate, a juicy, juicy, juicy subject in the top D modality. I look forward to reading the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.